Is as y'all know, is new and has done a great job. So this is his, I guess, first official as we get into the season deal here. But appreciate all of you coming today. Really excited to see you. I mean, I really am. This has been today's been kind of like waking up, and it's been Christmas all day today. Just excited to get started. Can't wait to get back on the field and love our team. I love the spirit that they have come to camp with and the focus. The guys are excited. The staff's ready to go, and so a lot of administrative type stuff to make sure we can kind of get the plane off the ground, if you will, safely. But today we get it in the air with this first practice. So really just anxious and ready to go, and I'm sure y'all got a bunch of questions, so I'll turn it over to y'all.
Coach, what's the first question you tell the team today as you guys assemble on the practice field?
The first question?
First question for the guys coming back in.
I didn't really have a question for them. Just more, just when I met with the seniors yesterday, just more. I guess that was a question, kind of like, where are we? Where's the mindset of our team? Any issues, any concerns, anything, to just get a vibe. So that's usually where I start, because I usually meet with those guys before I get to the team. But then from that point on, it's just more, it's not as much asking them questions as it is to kind of laying out, what it's going to take and reconfirming what we're all about, and kind of reinstalling our core values and the things that we believe in, and the focus that it's going to take, and the challenge that's ahead, and accepting that challenge.
Coach, number 2 in the coaches preseason poll, just like 2 years ago. I know you don't concern yourself with rankings this time of year, but just how does this team compare to that team? Just the chemistry and the makeup of it.
Well, we're going to find out. I mean, we've got. I think that we have some similarities to that team. I think we're a very talented team. We probably have a little more depth on this team than we did that year at certain critical positions. But that's all to be determined. That team was resilient. That team, was committed. That team did something that hadn't been done here in a long, long, long time. So it's really hard to compare this team to that team. If this team can go on and have a great year and unbelievable success and things like that team did, then maybe we got something to talk about. But right now, it's just, man, we got to go put the work in, and that's what today's all about. It's just day one and just putting 121 days of commitment together in a row here.
Dabo, a lot of these guys know that they can play football. They know what they've achieved. How do you keep them even keeled in keeping that mindset about, hey, you still have to prove?
Well, that's every day. I mean, it's not something that you just walk in on day one and say, okay, you got to go prove it, you got to go earn it. It's just really every day, as far as how we talk to our guys and the training and our strength conditioning and the mentality that's created through the off season. Our individual meetings, our group meetings. It's a never-ending process to create the mindset that you have to have in the culture of your program to sustain success and handle adversity and all those type of things. But again, we start over every year, and it's just what we do, and you have to do it all over again. As we always say, you don't carry over last year's big plays. You don't carry over last year's failures and mistakes. It's a new challenge. We're on a new journey, and the journey doesn't start today. That's what, if you just now think you're going to go put the work in, you're way behind. This team's been grinding since January, and this is just the next phase of our journey. And but we just constantly start over and reinforce that, and you get what you earn. I mean, you got to earn it. You got to prove it all over again. Every coach and every player has something to prove, and that's how we approach it. I mean, I come to work every day. I got something to prove, man. I got to prove it every day. To me, I'm still an interim coach that's got to prove that I can lead this program every day, and our Christian Wilkins needs to show up and prove that he still is the best 3 technique. And Cleveland needs to show up and with the mindset of that freshman from 3 years ago that's trying to prove he can be a great player at this level. That's something that you have to have woven into the culture, and you reinforce that when you get those opportunities, and that's what we do. I mean, you got to earn it every single time. You got to earn it. And the preseason stuff, and that's great, but that's just based on past performance, which is great. It's based on the past. We've got to be great right here in this moment and really just be locked in on what we've got to do with this team. So, man, I can't wait to go do that. I mean, every year you're trying to prove something. You're trying to prove them wrong, prove them right, but we got something to prove.
This is your first chance to see your full team.
Yep.
To see Justin Ross, Kyle,
Yep.
Michael Goodwin. What does it mean for you to go out there on that practice field today? How excited are you to go out there and see what you finally got, what it might all begin to look like?
Oh, I'm pumped because I haven't had a chance to do that yet. And now, fortunately, we did have a lot of guys that came in the spring, with 9 mid-years. But with those other 8 signees and then some of the other walk-ons that we're bringing in, it's exciting to know that you got a complete team. To get Kyler and to get Mario in the mix, they weren't there this spring, and so we were a little. That was the one area depth-wise where I thought we were a little thin, especially when a couple guys got hurt. So I'm excited to kind of add them into what's already a good group, and same thing with Justin. Throw him out there with a pretty good group, and just be a complete team, and let's go to work and see if we can put it all together. We got all the ingredients that are on the table there, but we got to put it together. It ain't gonna jump together itself. We gotta put it together in the right order.
Coach, you guys weighed in yesterday. I think Jackson Carmen was 338, the same weight as Big Dex. Any surprises there with the weigh-in?
I think Dex was 39. I think, oh man, I was so happy and proud of a bunch of those guys. I mean, Jackson especially. I mean, it's hard on him. I mean, he was about 370 when he got here. Not 345, not 355. He was like 370 and a biscuit or two from 375. I mean, he was nowhere near where he needed, but he knew that and he recognized that. He can still move. He still moved pretty good, but golly, just the work that he's put in and how he's bought in, he's still not anywhere close to what he's going to be. I think he got 405. I think that was his bench. So he's getting there, but he's not close to what he's going to look like here a couple of years down the road if he'll continue to put the work in. But that's what I'm proud of a young guy like that to buy in. I mean, we all know how hard it is to lose 10 pounds, but you're talking about that's a lot of weight that this kid dropped and did it the right way. And so Paul Harrington, our nutritionist, and Donna and Hallie, our chefs, and our strength and conditioning staff, they did an amazing job. And he's one of them. Same thing with Dexter. Dexter couldn't really grind like he needed to last year, and he was up there in that 350 range. And man, to see him where he is, he's lean. All these guys are lean. They look great. I think Travis was about, I think he's about 185 when he got here, and he's up to that 202, range, and T's about 209. I mean, it's just fun to see these guys develop and mature, and but it comes from hard work. I mean, you got to put the work in. But there were several guys. Mitch Hyatt, I think he got here about 280. Now he's up there in that 308 range. Ankrum, he was like 309, somewhere like that.
Justin Ross, I think he was about 207.
Justin Ross is just, he just showed up about 207. Imagine what he's going to look like in a couple of years. He'll look like Mike. He'll be 225 pounds as he matures. He's a basketball player that played at a very high level of basketball. So it's fun to see guys when they come in and how they mature if they put the work in. And we had a good group, a great summer, a lot of guys. Feaster, he's 210 and healthy and confident. I say he's healthy. He's going to be limited today and tomorrow, I think, but should be full go. He had a little meniscus procedure a couple weeks ago, but he should be full go early part of the week. But he looks great. So I'm just really proud of him. Kelly was like 225. He looks great. And that doesn't just happen. That's a lot of work and commitment on their part. So proud of them.
What does that say about Coach Batson and his staff?
Oh, there's nobody better than Coach Batson. He does an unbelievable job, and he just stays in the background. You know, he just grinds. Players love him, always have. We're the second winningest team in the country the last 8 years, and he's a big part of that, and has been from day one that I got this job. You know, when I got this job, I knew that we had something special in Joey Batson, and you know, a lot of people didn't think that, but I knew without a doubt that he was special. He just needed, you know, the right resources and the right type of support, et cetera. And it's been awesome to see him the job that he does. And not just him, he'll be the first one to tell you it ain't him. I mean, Smo and Hogan and Greenlee, Adrian Dunn, that group, they do an awesome job back there. But it's a holistic approach. I mean, you know, the nutrition is an edge. It's a competitive edge. You know, Alex Bina, our sports science guy, that's a competitive edge. Our how we feed them, you know, our chefs, that's a competitive edge. All those things, you know, you're always trying to find every little edge you can, you know, especially when you're dealing with elite athletes.
Yeah, but what are some of the goals for the first few days of practice?
Yeah, just get back at it. I mean, you've got to get our installation going. I mean, it's a lot. These guys have worked all summer, and we're allowed to have some football meetings in the summer. You're limited on the time that you can have. We can't be out on the field with them or anything like that. So we've made a little bit of progress, but get the young guys up to speed and kind of get our depth situated the way we need to. Make sure we got everybody in the right spots. We got some evaluating that we need to do early on some guys, but just get our installation going. You know, we don't have a lot. Spring's different because you practice every other day and stuff, and it's a slower pace. There's going to be a lot come at these guys these first 5, 6, 7 days. And so get our fundamentals in, get back to the basics, and you know, if we can you know, feel good about where we are. I think day 5 when we get into full pads, you know, from a foundation standpoint, installation, understanding of what we're asking some of these guys to do, then hopefully we can kind of make another jump, practice 5 to 10. So a lot to do these first 5 days.
Dabo, because you have probably your most experienced team coming back, do you let the older guys maybe take more of the lead during these practices, or is this as much for coaches to kind of get back into it?
Well, I mean, you know, like I said, if they could do it without us, they wouldn't need us. We just all go sit at the beach or something and show up on game day. But you know, there's a lot. They need us. Everybody's got a part. Everybody's got a role. But I've got 26 seniors. Last year I had 11, 6 on scholarship and 5 walk-ons. So this is, and I think we've got 57 seniors and juniors total. Very veteran group. It's definitely the most I've had, and they're focused. I mean, this is not a nonchalant, casual group. This is a very locked-in group that I really believe knows exactly what they want. And I think we've come a long way. We really have become a close team to this point. We're very pleased with the morale and the chemistry that I've seen already. I'm anxious to get to camp because there's a lot that still has to take place there. But, you know, it's fun to be able to sit in a room full of, you know, last year you're sitting there, you got 6 scholarship guys. Well, I had to build that room. You know, juniors, a few sophomores, to try to create the type of leadership that I think it takes, because the best leadership comes from within. Can't always be the coach. You know, I tell them all the time, our culture, our standards, our core values need to be reinforced from the bottom up. You know, and so, you know, we've got to, everybody's got to take ownership. But we'll have our veteran guys. They always have input. I meet with them. I communicate, and they're a part of everything. You know, we do a 13-month calendar. I go through that with them. I like to get their input, but this group here, they just have a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, and it's fun to sit in that room and you know, they know what we need to do. They know what it takes. They're committed to that, and so it really helps in the locker room, on the bus, in the dining hall, in the training room, on the practice field, in the meeting rooms, whatever, with your messaging. because they're taking that in there to those younger guys, and they're teaching. So we got a lot of guys that will definitely help us lead this group.
I know you still got to go out and prove everything, but as far as the talent and depth and the veterans and stuff, is this as good as you felt about a group going into the season?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's a definite. I feel great about this team. I love this team. Last year was such a fun, different challenge for us. But this team, like I said, we've got all the ingredients. I think we've got talent, we've got experience, we've got depth, we've got character, we've got good leadership. So we have, I think, all the things that it takes, and they have the experience and know what it takes. So, yeah, I feel great from that standpoint, but you got to go earn it. You got to go do it, you know. There's a quote that I think it says something like, there's nothing more common than unsuccessful people with talent. You got to be willing to pay the price. And I think you could substitute that. There's nothing more common than unsuccessful teams with talent. You got to be willing to pay the price. And so that's a decision that everybody has to make, man. You gotta pay the price. There's no shortcuts, no elevator to greatness. You got to take the steps, and you got to grind every single day.
You talked about getting the depth situated, getting sure guys are in the right spots. I'm guessing that Goodrich and Kyler are in that.
Yeah. We need to evaluate those guys on the field. You know, kind of see where they are. I mean, I think we got some of that at every position, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously quarterbacks are quarterbacks. You know, you're not going to move them to left tackle, but we got some guys in the OL that we need to evaluate. You know, what's the best spot for them. We got some guys up front, you know, that we need to, you know, is this guy going to be better at shade? Is he a better three technique? You know, we got some evaluating to do there. Same thing at backer. You know, some guys are going to play all three spots and earn all three spots, but what's the best spot for him to kind of call home? You know, we've got to figure that out. Kyler and Mario, can they help us at nickel? Or do we need to, which one needs to be filled? Who's going to be boundary? There's a lot of things that we need to evaluate with a bunch of these guys, and I'm excited about it. And then we got some of these young guys. You know, are they ready? How do they process stuff? You got to take a kid like Braden Galloway. I don't know. I mean, he's 240 pounds. He's put a lot of work in, but is he going to be able to? Is he going to be able to compete with those older guys? You know, can he get on the field? Can he process it? Can he learn it? Can you win it at a high level with him? You just don't know where some of these guys' learning curve is, where they are on the learning curve, until you start sitting in those meetings with them and get really into the grind of practice, and it really piles up, and you have to you know, see how they respond to the mistakes and so forth.